Hello, 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 and welcome to this week's live stream. I am so excited to be here today. Pardon me. I had a whirlwind of a weekend. My gorgeous, cute little 78-year-old mom got married this past weekend, so our family was buzzing with excitement. And we had a great time merging two families together, and it was a beautiful thing to see. So I've been recovering. I've been recovering from a whole lot of peopling, and it's interesting. Raise your hand or let me know in the comments if you have a people meter. I have a people meter. My people meter was really, really, really full. And when I'm like that, I need a couple days to just go into my, you know, shell or whatever and just um, recharge myself. So, welcome if you're watching live. Welcome if you're watching the replay. It's a brand new month, it's a brand new quarter, and I'm excited about it. So, what are we talking about today? Today, we are talking about spring. We're talking about how you can spring your brand forward. And we're going to use the word spring to talk about it over the next, this week and the following weeks through the end of April. I like to have a theme each month, and I'm getting a little better at it. I like to have a theme each month that I go live with, that I write my emails with, that I, kind of use as a guide for my content for the month. So this month is all about springing your brand forward, how to get your brand moving forward in the direction that you want it to go. All right. So before we jump into the content, this week, the details for Icon Factor Live is being sent out. Okay. Now, you're like, Icon Factor Live. What is Icon Factor Live? Icon Factor Live is a 2 day, it's now 2 days, it's a 2 day event for 12 women. I bring together 12 women into an intimate space where we spend time pouring into you. We spend time encouraging you, inspiring you, building you up, helping you experience breakthroughs on day one. Then on day two, we go into the boardroom, and that's where we handle the business of your brand. So day one is about breakthroughs. Day two is about being about the business of your brand. It's held at a beautiful resort right on the beach in Clearwater, Florida. Clearwater Beach, Florida, actually. So I'll be sending that information out. And let me just play. I want to play. I didn't plan to do this, but I want to play a testimonial from one of the attendees from last year. So go to I think it's Icon Factor Live. Oh, you know what? Let me get it right. Let me get it right because I don't want to get it wrong. Go to theiconfactor.com. Oh, wait, nope, that's not right either. I knew it. Hold on. Let me get it right because I'm apparently not getting it right. I should have put it in here. Um, okay, here it is. Here it is. Theiconfactor.com. Go to theiconfactor.com. Matter of fact, you don't even have to do that. Let me put this link right here in the chat. I'm going to put it right here in the chat. Hello, Andrea Harrison. Good to see you. Good to see you. Thank you. Appreciate you. So I actually put the link in the so you can join the wait list. I believe this is the link for you can join the wait list. There it is. And actually that's not the wait list. That's actually Yeah. Y'all, I am not putting in the right information. I am not putting in the right information. I just want you to join the wait list. So Andrea popped it in there, theiconfactor.com. And yeah, that's right, theiconfactor.com. Thank you, Andrea. Because I'm looking at that going, no, not yet. All right. So in the meantime, I just want to play I want to play a very quick video from one of the attendees from the last one.
Hi, I am coming from you from Icon Factor Live with Cheryl A. Pullins, and I'm going to tell you something. Icon Factor Live was transformative and life changing. This place and space will never be the same, but most of all, I will never be the same. In that room, I was able to take all of the things that I'm passionate about and put them under one umbrella just because I said yes to me and entered the space. I'm walking away with a clear vision and the ability to execute the vision, all because I attended Icon Factor Live 2023. And in 2024, we want to see you right here.
Whew, made it back just in time. I started coughing all of a sudden. Wow. Okay. Hopefully I'll be okay. All right. So that was Tiffany Easley. She was one of our attendees from Icon Factor Live. And over the next few weeks, you'll be seeing some of those testimonials from some of our attendees. Andrea Harrison was in the room when we did our the one in November. Andrea Harrison was in the room. So I I yeah, I'll deal with that part later about the I'll get the right link up there. It should just take you to the yeah. We'll take those links down and deal with it later. Um so anyway, so we're getting ready for one for June. The dates are June 21st and the 22nd, 2024. And I'll get the right wait list a link up there so you can join the wait list because the details are going out to the people on the wait list first. And that will be tomorrow. Then Friday, it'll go out to the general public. Remember, there are only 12 spaces left, and it's going to be absolutely amazing. Thank you, Andrea. Andrea said it was amazing. Yay, 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 yay. Awesome. So, what are we talking about today? We're talking about spring your brand forward. And we're going to use the word spring to walk through all of this. We're going to use the word spring. So, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. I'm going to use the word spring as a way to talk about it. So it's schedule. And that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about schedule. And then the P is presence. We'll talk about presence next week. The following week, we're going to talk about renew and implement. Okay. And then it'll be nurture and then grow. So we're going to spring your brand forward using the spring model. And today it's about scheduling time to clean up your social media presence. Scheduling time to clean up your social media presence. Thank you, Andrea. That is exactly the link. I appreciate you very much for your assistance with that. That is the link for the wait list for Icon Factor Live. Thank you, Andrea. Appreciate it. So we're going to talk about scheduling time to clean up your social media presence. You're like, okay, Cheryl, what does that mean? Clean up my social media presence. This is what it means. It means that we're going to talk about your social media profiles, your bio. We're going to talk about your URLs. You see what just happened with my URLs, right? We're going to talk about your URLs and other links, and then just removing some outdated content, um, maybe organizing content, and then just reviewing your visuals. Okay, so let's get into this. Remember, so we're talking about scheduling time. Here's why I said I started with scheduling time instead of just saying spring clean your social media or something like that. Because if you're anything like me, you don't schedule the time. And if you don't schedule the time, it doesn't happen. Put it on your calendar. And actually, this is something that should be on your calendar at least once a year. At least once a year. This should be something that you do each year, that you go and you look at your social media accounts and you clean them up. And what do I mean? So, the first thing we're going to look at is your social media profiles. Now, I know for sure that many of us have outdated information on our social media profiles. I know we do. And when I say social media profiles, I mean like the information, like your picture or your cover image or um, your URLs or your, just whatever. Anything having to do with you, anything having to do with me coming to your social media page, me coming to your social media page and, seeing a big header there, and it's for an event that passed, for an event that was like 3 months ago. I'm guilty. I'm guilty. I'm guilty because we don't make it a priority. And a really good thing to have is a checklist of things that you want to clean. And if you're on my email list, I'm going to make sure that you get that checklist as part of our emails talking about what we're talking about this month. I'm actually going to send you a checklist with the things that you should be doing to spring clean your social media profile because it's important. Do you know how many people I click off of because their social media presence is outdated? It's like, okay, yeah, no, okay, move on. And even when I get friend requests, there's certain things I look at, and if I'm like, if it's just like, yeah, no, mm-mm. I, because that's part of how people make decisions about whether or not they want to be connected. So if your information is outdated, if your photo is outdated, if you're, you know, now's a good time to schedule and do a photo shoot as well. Okay, I'm jumping ahead, but let's stay with the social media presence, right? But your imagery is a huge part of your presence. LinkedIn, update those LinkedIn profiles. Make sure they're in alignment with who you are, how you want to be known, and the type of people that you want to attract. Facebook is the same thing, right? YouTube is a little different. It's a different dynamic, but you still have things that you should have updated. Like right now, I really need to update my YouTube channel with my channel art and things like that, my links and all those things. My bio, I need to update it. Okay? And when you are talking about updating, it needs to be optimized. Okay? It needs to be optimized. Cheryl, what are you talking about? I'm saying that you should know what your keywords are that people are searching for, because most people aren't looking for your name. They're looking for um things like personal branding or social media marketing or things, words like that people are actually searching, searchable terms. You want to use that as part of your social media profiles. I'm not going to get too much into that. That's a thing all by itself. And but don't you worry, don't you worry. We're gonna open that up at some point. But in the meantime, just clean your social media profiles up, please. Update your bio, your about section, just really look and go, okay, this is still relevant. No, this is I'm no longer doing this. I'm no longer focused on this. My focus has changed, whatever. Now, make sure your website, those URLs and those links are up. Please remove those dead links. Please remove the dead links. Please and thank you. Remove the dead links because I know that people have dead links. What do you mean dead links? Your website links, your URLs, your the URLs might be the information on it is probably outdated. The URL you might not even own anymore. All of those types of things. Because again, people make decisions about whether or not they're going to be connected if those things are out of date. Okay. Um, Even content, remove outdated content for some things. Some things no longer align with your brand's image and message. It's okay to remove them. It's okay to remove them. Even events that you've done already in the past, you can remove them or archive them or do something with them. Maybe just copy the content and save it in a document, in a Word document. That way, if you do the event again, you don't have to recreate that content. You already have the content. You can freshen it up and then you can use it for that event again. But the event itself, posts about the event itself, they're outdated, So if you want to keep a fresh, clean, up to date profile, especially on LinkedIn, I mean, LinkedIn, yes, but I meant to say Instagram, especially on Instagram because it's so image driven. Then you can go through and clean that up. And remember, what did I say? Schedule time to do this. Say you have offerings that you've been offering in the past and you're not offering those anymore. Take those down because here's what I know, people will find that stuff. People will somehow find that stuff. They'll land on a website. They'll register for something that you're not even offering anymore. Okay. So these are some things that you could do to just clean up, excuse me, clean up your social media profiles. Um, think about think about the hashtags that you're using. Are they relevant? Are they relevant to what you're talking about now? Are they relevant to your message? And speaking of message, is your message up to date? I mean, we're talking about social media today and cleaning up your social media profile, but there are other things around that you want to look at. One of them is your message, because potentially your message is might be a little different than it was 2 years ago. Okay. So make sure your messaging, if you clean that messaging, clean up your messaging. Also, another thing you want to clean up that is connected to social media is your imagery. Your imagery. What photo are you using on social media? Are you using a photo that's 3, 4, 5 years old? I hope not. I hope not. So I have a thing. I have a. I don't put my personal photo shoot preference on everyone, but you should update your photos at least once a year. At least. I do it a little bit more, but at least you should update your photos doing your photo shoot at least once a year, and it should be a real live, like, photo shoot, like all out photo shoot. right? Something that aligns with your brand, with your message, with the type of brand you want to be known for. I don't care if it's luxury. I don't care if it's girl next door, whatever your brand personality is. Do a photo shoot that embodies that and use those images on social media. Use it as your profile photo on LinkedIn, on uh, Facebook, on Instagram, or wherever you are. Update your photos, okay? Now listen, I'm going to say this in the nicest way possible. No shame, no shade. Please don't use AI generated images. Thank you very much. Please don't use AI images. I would rather you stayed in front of one of them 1,000 in one of them front of those $1,000 phones folks be carrying and take a photo before I see you use an AI generated image. I'm speaking to you as a personal brand strategist. They don't connect, they're fake, and people can tell. And that's all I'm going to say about that. That's all I'm going to say about that. Okay? All right. So find a way to do a photo shoot. Like I said, the cameras in these phones, yeah, it's not the full-fledged ideal way of doing a photo shoot, but I would rather you do that than to use AI images, okay? I see people doing it and it's like, why? Why? Okay. All right. So what did we say? What have we talked about so far? We talked about spring cleaning your social media presence. We talked about looking at everything on your profiles, removing what's out of date, updating any URLs and links, getting rid of dead links, just getting rid of things that are outdated, old, that really aren't serving you. Give your social media presence a fresh coat of paint, if you will. Now is a great time. This month is a great time to do that as you roll into, this is the beginning of the second quarter of the year. This is a great time to do it. The ideal time, to be honest with you, would be at the end of the year as you roll into a new year. That's another time that you can spring clean your social media presence. But for now, you can do that right now, so you can clean up those social media profiles. Then look at your brand messaging. Are you saying, are is your message on point for what you want people to know about you, and who you are and what you do and what your message is and who it's to? It changes sometimes. And I think what happens with some people is they don't revisit it, even though it's changed in their heads and they're talking, but they haven't documented those changes, which is a lot of what I do in terms of helping people get clear on that brand message, to make sure what you're saying, what they're seeing, what they're experiencing is all in alignment. Now is a great time to look at that. Now's a great time to do what? Do a photo shoot. Get those photos going, right? Making sure you have on brand photos that are aligning with your brand, with your message, with how you want to show up. I did a photo shoot in December and I was very intentional about the type of shoot I wanted to do. Excuse me. And the type of shoot that I wanted to do, I wanted it to be clearly seen that it was a an up level, that I was up leveling. I wanted that to be clear. I didn't want it to look like anything that I had ever done before. So my photographer, she went scouting. She literally went scouting. She knew what she was looking for because we talked about it. We talked about the vision. She found a location. We did a site visit. I mean, it was a big deal. We did a site visit. I mean, fortunately for me, my photographer lives like 15 minutes away from my house. And we do a lot of things together. So we did a site visit. It was yes. We planned the outfits, everything. Everything. Exactly, Andrea. It I wanted it to say iconic without people having to think, without people having to do anything but look at it and go, "Man, that's iconic. That's iconic." And there's and one day I'm going to bring my photographer on and we're going to have conversations about this because the location that we chose was this amazing location and there's a library, and I don't think anyone's even seen this picture yet. There's a library inside this location that was um the library, and the whole room was patterned after the Library of Congress in Washington D.C. Now, how iconic is that? Right here in Florida, we found a location that had the room that was modeled after the Library of Congress, and even the books in the library are cataloged exactly like the books in the Library of Congress. How iconic is that? And I'm on this photo shoot thing for a minute. Just bear with me because I think it's important because your visuals are important. Your visuals, images communicate like 65,000 times faster or something to that effect than text. So when you are putting out an image, you have to be really intentional about the messaging that you want that image to embody. So I'm talking about doing photo shoots. I'm not talking about just going somewhere, and that. Like I said, if you start where you are, okay? There's no shame or no. Start where you are, just not with AI images, but start where you are, okay? But if you can, even with your phone, if you can, be intentional about the location. There's so many ways that you can snap photos nowadays with your phone and a tripod and a timer, a remote, whatever. But be intentional about the location. Okay. So we found a location that was truly iconic, and it just goes with my messaging, with my vibe and everything. Okay, so I didn't realize I was gonna go down that on the photo shoots, but if we're gonna talk about it, then let's talk about it. So clean up your social media, spring clean your social media profiles. What did we say? Your like the about section, make sure that's on point. Get rid of any dead links, so any dead URL links, update those links. I recommend having one thing that you send people to, um unless you have like in a like event, or you're doing a program and maybe you have three. I don't recommend more than three links, and you can use like Linktree. um Canva has a thing you can use. I'm not going to get deep into that, but there are ways that you can Linktree is probably really good because that way you can update the links in Linktree without having to update the link in your social media. Does that make sense? And I think that might be a more effective way. Even if it's one link, two links, I wouldn't do more than three, but use Linktree or something like it. That way you can go into Linktree, update the links there, but you never have to update the link that's on social media. So it's never outdated unless you're not updating the links. And links are it's never outdated, but you still got to make sure you update those links, okay? Or if you want to add a link because you have something going on, add the link. When it's over, remove it. Okay? You have to be intentional about making sure your social media profiles are up to date. People use social media as a way to make buying decisions. They actually do. I do. If I see something come across my feed, somebody selling something or offering something, I don't just look at that post. I go look at their social media profile and go, okay, who is this person? What do they have going on? How long have they been doing this? Do they have a community? Like all the things. Now, it's not like the only thing I use to make a decision, but I do make it a part of my decision matrix. All right, so spring clean those social media profiles. And if you're on my email list, or you can go to invisible2iconic.com to if you want to have a call about how I could help you spring clean your brand, spring your brand forward, go to invisible2iconic.com and let's schedule a time for us to talk about what it could look like for me to support you in that way. Um, Andrea put the link in the chat, in the comments, for the Icon Factor Live waitlist. The details are going to the waitlist on Thursday, general on Friday. Um, yeah, so I hope that was helpful for you. I hope that was helpful for you. And we'll be back next week. We're going to talk about your brand presence. Your brand forward. Spring your brand forward by sorry, I get distracted when I see things moving around on my screen. Yes, Andrea, I saw it. It popped up on my screen. I just didn't want to hold on. At the time, I didn't want to yeah, there it is. I'm just going to put it in here. Oh no, you're fine. You're fine. You're fine. I'm just squirrely like that. There you go. There's a link there. But what was I saying? Mm. Oh, I was talking about our next live stream is going to talk about your brand presence. How you're going to We're going to talk about how you can spring your brand forward by cleaning up your brand presence and what that looks like. Now, if you have questions that you want me to answer, send them to me. My DM is all, or inbox, or wherever we are, is always open. Comment here, send it to me. I will answer your questions so that this can be a helpful resource for you. Okay, let me go through the comments because I like to go through the comments. And yes, it was. Icon Factor Live was absolutely amazing. It was so amazing that the original one was one day. And everyone in the room was like, this has to be 2 days. So it is. It is 2 days, June 21st and 22nd. And yep, that is the URL right there for you to get on the wait list. And yes, we talked about spring: schedule, presence, renew, and implement, nurture, and grow. And that's the model we're going to follow this month as we talk about springing your brand forward. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Andrea says we can't keep up with you and your epic photo shoots. Well, I'm really blessed to actually have an amazing photographer that I consider a friend as well, and she keeps me on my photo shoot toes. And yeah, that is not authentic. Yeah, AI images. creating AI images as your headshot are just not authentic. People want to see you. They want to connect with you. And using an AI image as your headshot, they're not people aren't connecting with you. It's not authentic because it's not you. It's not. It's just that simple. All right. And awesome, awesome, awesome. She says, I love your photographer. I have one too. I need to get on her calendar. Yes, you do, Andrea. You have one. She's amazing, and you need to get on her calendar. Okay. Make that happen. So, what's your takeaway for today? What's your takeaway for today? Let me know in the comments. Let me know what your takeaway is. Let me know one thing that you're going to take action on. Okay. Maybe instead of your takeaway, let me know one thing you're going to take action on, because I've been saying lately that these live streams are not for information, they are for implementation. It's not for information, it's for implementation. What are you going to implement? What's one thing that you're going to walk away with that you are going to implement today? It could be cleaning up your social media profile. It could be scheduling your photo shoot with your photographer, right, Andrea? It could be any of those things. It could be setting up your link tree or whatever it is that you're going to use, that universal link that you can use in your social media profile, so when people click on, it's not outdated. Maybe you're going to change the header on your social media profile, especially Facebook and LinkedIn and all those. You're going to change the header so that it's not outdated anymore. It's going to be up to date. What are you going to do? What action are you going to take? What are you going to implement from today's live stream? Awesome, awesome, awesome. Andrea says, I'm double checking my links. Thank you for saying it. One of my QR codes ain't working. I love it. I love it. And that's what I mean. That's what I mean. Well, awesome sauce. Thank you so much for joining me today. It has been my pleasure. Add your one thing that you are going to do as a result of the live stream. Also, go to check the link in the comments for the waitlist for Icon Factor Live. If you want to have a iconic you activation call with me, which is really a discovery call to see if there's a way I can help you and support you as you build and grow your brand, go to invisible2iconic.com and get on my calendar for that. In the meantime, have an amazing rest of your week, and I'll see you next time.